Israel has historically been a small state surrounded by hostile countries, some of which are many times its size. In its first 50 years, it found itself engaged in 5 full-scale wars. Israel has little strategic depth. Only 44 miles separate between the Jordan Valley and the Mediterranean Sea. A modern fighter bomber can cross this distance in 3 minutes. After the Six-Day War in 1967, when Israel came under attack by 4 armies on 3 fronts, UN Security Council Resolution 242 declared that Israel had the right to live in peace within secure and recognized boundaries, free from threats or acts of force. It was not expected to withdraw fully to the fragile armistice lines from which it had been repeatedly attacked. Prior to Israel's unilateral disengagement from the Gaza Strip in 2005, President George W. Bush sent Prime Minister Ariel Sharon a letter of assurance about the West Bank, in which he stated, "The United States reiterates its steadfast commitment to Israel's security, including secure, defensible borders." Both houses of the US Congress overwhelmingly approved the letter. What are Israel's defensible borders? The Jordan Rift Valley. The Jordan Rift Valley, Israel's eastern frontier, forms a natural barrier between Israel and Jordan, and beyond Jordan, Iraq and Iran. The Jordan Valley and the mountains that dominate it create a steep 4,200-foot virtual wall opposite any force attacking from the east. In the past, Israel faced numerically superior conventional armies. Though outnumbered, it succeeded in winning decisively by fully exploiting the principles of ground warfare. Today, Israel faces mainly terror armies like Hezbollah, Hamas, and ISIS. It must be stressed that as long as wars are fought and ultimately won by the maneuver of land armies, then terrain and strategic depth will remain at the core of Israeli national security. To defend itself from attacks from the east, Israel must retain control over the Jordan Valley and the western mountain ridge that dominates it. Israel cannot concede this vital area in any diplomatic arrangement. That was the position taken by the architects of Israel's national security, like Yigal Allon, Moshe Dayan, and Yitzhak Rabin, and it remains as relevant today as it was back then.
כל הביטחון להגנת מדינת ישראל יוצב בבקעת הירדן בפירוש הנרחב ביותר של המושג הזה.
Israel's mountain ridge. Israeli withdrawal to the 1967 lines, really the 1949 armistice lines, would be suicidal. The western slopes of the mountain ridge dominate Israel's coastal plain, where more than 70% of its population and 80% of its industrial capacity is located. All flights in and out of Israel's main international airport, Ben Gurion, would be threatened by shoulder-launched anti-aircraft missiles. Vital early warning stations facing east would be lost. With terror armies increasingly using low-flying drones in Syria and Yemen, Israel must protect its air defense assets all along this critical terrain. With a full withdrawal, the country's width would be reduced to a narrow 9-mile waistline and would be impossible to defend. Therefore, any future arrangement must include Israeli control over key parts of the mountain ridge, demilitarization of the West Bank, and continuing Israeli control of its airspace. In addition, Israel must protect itself against the kind of attack tunnels used in recent years by Hamas and Hezbollah along its southern and northern fronts. The attack tunnels are emerging as part of the new strategic landscape facing Israel on all its fronts. To preclude their use, Israel must retain overriding security responsibility within the area from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. In the last 2 decades, it had been hoped that Israeli withdrawals from Gaza and southern Lebanon would reduce the hostile intent of its adversaries. But the exact opposite occurred. The withdrawals only led to escalating threats along its borders. Moreover, the past notion that great powers will intervene in the Middle East to halt acts of aggression when red lines are crossed has been disproven. Increasingly, Middle East states are on their own. In a volatile Middle East, where there's an explosive mix of resurgent jihadist movements and regimes driven by hegemonial ambitions, uncertainty is rampant. More than ever, it is crucial to ensure defensible borders for Israel, so that Israel can defend itself by itself.